Hello everyone and welcome back to another JomezPro Final 9. We're playing at May Simmons Park in Lubbock, Texas. My name is Jared Henschel and I'm joined here with Cole Langston.
Hey everyone, how are you guys?
So we have 5 people on the card today. We've got Cole, Chris, Marcus, Ethan, and myself. And we're going to be starting the final 9 here on hole 1. So hole 1 is pretty much a straight shot. You're going to want to go through these trees, finish around to the right. Plays really well for a forehand or a backhand turnover. You pretty much just want to finish dead straight right up the middle.
Definitely.
All right, so first on the box, we have Chris. This is actually my first time playing with Chris, but he seemed like he was a really experienced player, and he's always out on the course playing.
Definitely, I've seen him out a lot.
Chris is just going forehand up the middle. Pretty much where you want to be, just out in the open. You just want to make it past that first set of trees.
That's basically the only play on this hole, because of that triple mando right off the tee pad.
And then we've got Marcus also going forehand. You're going to see a lot of players throwing a forehand off of this tee. Same thing, Marcus just going right up the middle. Just pretty much just trying to get in the open and making it so you have a shot up to the basket.
Yeah, Cole!
Here's me. I was throwing a champion boss, and I basically just tried to throw it straight up the gap and get knocked down by these trees by the basket.
That's pretty much what you're trying to do there. You're just trying to fight through those trees and get up towards the basket. That was just unlucky.
Especially this time of the year, it's pretty thick over there. It's kind of hard to fight through, but sometimes you can get lucky if you get low enough.
Here we've got Ethan, looking like he's throwing a forehand as well.
And I think this is the first time I met him, but he seemed like a great guy and a good player.
Yeah, definitely. There he is, sliding up right to where Chris was, looked like. And then here I am. I'm just throwing a star work on a forehand, just trying to make it up the middle, hit the same gap that everyone else did. Had a little bit of an early release, but a nice tree kick out into the middle.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right here, just throwing a P3X up to the basket, just trying to get under all the branches and just slide up under there. Little deep, but it'll work.
Basically what you want to do, though. A little scary putt, but nothing you can't handle.
Yeah. Marcus throwing his up shot. Looks to be some sort of mid-range. Slides up under there, good shot. Here's Chris. Chris is going a little unconventional here. He's going up and trying to crash into the trees and land down. I don't see people play that a lot, but it worked out for him. There's Ethan.
With his little up shot.
Yep, right where you want to be.
This is me throwing a little forehand AVR. Just trying to get up there because there was no gap from there that I would be able to hit.
That was a good shot.
Great putt.
Draining the putt. Really nervous on this hole. This is my first time being filmed, so yeah, definitely had heart race, and that was a good one to get.
Don't think I've ever been so nervous to play disc golf, but
yeah,
that being pretty fun.
Definitely good to make those first few putts. Chris making his putt there. And then everyone else is just going to be tapping out here for the threes.
Yeah, tapping it out.
This hole, normally you're trying to get a 2. It's not an unreasonable 2, but just with the triple mando and all the trees and the gaps you're trying to hit, I mean, you're not upset with a 3. So everyone taking 3s there, not bad scores, no bogeys, so really nothing wrong there.
Pretty average layout right there.
All right, so now we're going to hole 3. Hole 3 is downhill, 292 feet. Doesn't really play like it because it's so downhill. You can throw fairway mid-range at it just soft and it'll just glide all the way down there. Just dead straight shot. You've got a lot of trees to hit. Pretty much the only thing you're trying to do is just avoid going way too far left or way too far right.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Here we've got Chris. I think he's throwing a sidewinder here. Just held on to it a little bit too long. Yanked it off right. He'll be fine. He'll have a look over there. Get up under the basket. Here's Marcus.
Not sure what he was throwing there, but something pretty flippy.
Yeah, the downhill really affects it. It makes everything turn over more than you would expect to on normal ground.
Yeah.
It was a little windy out there, so that could have played with it as well.
I was throwing a Champion Daedalus. I like how it's a more understable disc. I don't have to throw it as hard on these kind of holes. And unfortunately got a terrible tree kick and ended up going pretty far, but
yeah, that's not too bad.
yeah, just need to lay out my next shot and I'll be okay.
There's Ethan, probably just throwing a straight fairway down there. Just pulled it into the ground a little bit. That's not bad. He'll be able to get up to the basket from there.
Yeah.
Here I am, just throwing a Mick Glow Rock 3, just trying to go dead straight down to the basket. Got a little turned over on me, but it gave me a good look at the basket from where I was at.
Great spot to be in right there.
Here's Ethan with his upshot. Very nice. Looks like an overstable putter. Yeah, he'll be putting from there for sure. It's hard with the elevated basket on this hole, especially with the trench behind it. You're trying not to go too far past. You want to be pretty close on that upshot so you don't have a death putt.
Yeah, if you land in that trench, it's a pretty tough shot for that elevated basket.
For sure. There's Marcus pitching right up to the basket. It's a good shot.
Here's me with an AVR3, my workhorse, and laid up pretty nice.
It's a good shot. Here I am, trying to give it a run for 2, but just a little bit high, a little bit left. Wasn't too upset with that. Here's Ethan. And that's a good putt.
That's a great putt.
Straddle around the tree on the elevated basket. That's a good 3 save. Here's Chris. Oh, just
unfortunate chain out right there.
Nasty spit out. That's what you're going to have happen with these elevated baskets. It's just going to spit you out if you have a little bit too hard of a putt. I tapped in my 3. And here you are tapping in your 3.
Honestly, that for me wasn't a tap, and I was so nervous for that elevated basket, especially on camera, but saved it still.
Here's Marcus. Tapping in his 3. Oh, almost tried to sneak out the backside, but he got it to stay in. And here's Chris putting in his 4.
Unfortunate 4, but that's kind of what happens on these elevated baskets if you're not dead center.
Yeah, these are some usual scores you're going to see out here. A lot of 3s, 4s, rarely 2s. This course it's pretty tough. You're trying to just stay at par and take the birdies where you can.
Exactly.
So this is hole 6, 300 feet downhill. It's the signature hole here at May Simmons. It's got a giant star that the basket sits on top of. It's another elevated basket. Pro is trying to either throw something that goes really straight right at it or hang something way out wide and get it to just come back and finish up under the basket. Usually a decent amount of wind on this hole, so you're trying to play under the wind, keep it low, not too high.
I think today, though, it seemed pretty calm.
Yeah, it's pretty calm conditions compared to some days we've had out here.
Yeah.
There's Marcus just skipping up over the star. Looks like a mid-range. Here you are with your AVR 3.
I actually took a huge chunk out of that disc on this exact hole. I had bounced it off that number 6, and now it's a pretty understable AVR 3.
Here I am. I just threw my P3X into the ground. I was just trying to get it to slide up there and had a misrelease and threw it low. Here's Ethan hanging it out wide, just looking for it to finish back in front of that tree. Oh.
A little long.
A little long, but that should be a pretty easy 3 from there. Pretty open. We've got Chris. Looks like he's throwing a buzz there. That's pretty much what you're looking for right there. Just hanging it out right in front of that tree. Get you skip up there inside the circle, and he's going to have a good look for 2 from there. Here I am. I'm pretty much just pitching up for 3 right here. There's not much I can do. So I was just trying to get it close, and I did that. Here's Ethan. Looks like he's doing about the same thing. He's way out there, just trying to put it up close.
This is definitely a putt I should have made, but with that tree being right there, it was a little awkward stance.
Yeah, these aren't easy ones, especially on these elevated baskets.
Yeah.
That's a good 2 for Marcus. Looks like he was about circle's edge on the elevated basket. It's a good putt. That's a nice comeback putt right there for 3.
And I needed that one too.
For sure. None of them are gimmies. Here's Chris for his 2. That's also a good 2. He played that one really smart, got it close. Capitalized with the putt.
Yeah, that was a great play.
Here's Ethan and I just tapping out our 3s. And it looks like we're gonna have some birdies for the first time on this hole. This is one of the first few holes on the course where you're walking up to it and you're expecting to get a birdie. There's a lot of bogey opportunities, but this is one of the one where you wanna really start shooting under par.
Yeah.
All right, now we're on to hole 8. It's another downhill shot. It finishes a little straight, maybe 10, 20 feet left right over this little ridge. You're trying to either crash into the trees and get it to stop on the little peak right here, or you're just trying to get something to skip in through the trees and land on that little plateau where the basket's gonna sit. It's pretty protected, so even if you throw a good shot, you may not be rewarded for it.
Usually plays probably a little bit over par.
Definitely.
If I were to average out the scores.
Here's Marcus playing the skip right over the little canopy. And that's about as good as it's gonna get.
That's exactly what you're wanting on this hole.
Here's Chris looking to match what Marcus just did. Oh, it looks like he yanked it a little wide. Yeah, he clipped the trees, so he's gonna have to work to try and get it down there for his 3.
Here I am, I'm throwing a Star Rock 3, and I threw it a little bit too straight for what I was trying to do, but still on that little ridge, and there's nothing wrong with being right there.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really protected basket there. There's a lot of trees that just make it jail, so that's a really hard putt to come down at.
Yeah.
There's Ethan just playing a low, straight shot. He just didn't get the skip he was looking for, just dove into the ground. And I'm throwing a MD4, just trying to keep it wide. Kept a little inside, a little high, so it's just going to hit the trees and crash down right where Cole's at. We've got Ethan trying to pitch up through all those trees, and there you can see what Ethan did is just jail in those trees. It's really protected, and there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, unless you're right up against them, there's almost no lines that you're going to be able to hit on purpose.
And there's Chris doing the same thing. The mistake to make is right, so you have that window at least.
Here I am, tossing up an AVR 3, and I barely just hit the bottom of the pan right there through what seemed like there was no gap.
That was a good run. And I'm trying to give it a bid and just didn't give it enough. Squeaked past the basket. It'll be a pretty easy 3 from there. So here's Ethan trying to save his 3. Downhill putt. Just a little bit high. He should be able to make his 4 from there. And we've got Chris.
Definitely was running that, but...
Yeah, he gave that a good bid.
Got a good kick off of that tree.
Yeah, that definitely slowed him down. Gave him a little bit of a nudge back towards the basket. Oh, Marcus with the unfortunate chain out. These baskets are a little bit unforgiving sometimes. If you don't hit them just the right way, you just won't stick inside of them. There's Ethan. That's a good putt there.
That was a good putt.
Looks like everyone else. I've got a little tester here, but I wasn't too worried about this one.
Looks like a dead center, a little bit high, but nothing wrong with that.
This is what I was trying to do. All right. Looks like everyone else is just going to be tapping out here. These look pretty routine. Chris tapping in a bogey. Definitely not too psyched about that one. He'll come back, though. He's a good player. All right. Another set of 3s. Chris with the solo 4. Again, you're going to see a lot of scores like this at May. So here we've got hole 9. This hole is probably one of the hardest on the course. You start off with a triple mando. You got to go through the posts and under the sign. And then you go over the creek, wraps around down to the left. And this is actually the same trench area that you saw at the back of 3.
I definitely think this is probably the hardest hole that we played this day. The triple mando is just the worst.
For sure. So if you miss a triple mando, you have to throw from that tee pad in front up there. And it's not an easy shot. You're closer, but it's still pretty tough. Marcus throwing a forehand roller. It's a pretty safe play.
I was throwing my Colossus, something that I'd be able to flip over, but just threw it too high.
Pretty much just trying to get through that gap.
Yeah, as long as you're through that gap, there's nothing wrong with what you did.
Ethan going with the forehand. Yeah, this hole ruined my first round. I went 4 birdies in a row, and then I took a 7 on this hole. So
and that's always a possibility.
This hole can be a round killer. So here I just threw a forehand roll. I was just trying to make it through the Mando and just try and get up there and give myself a look for maybe a 3. Here's Chris.
He's actually aced this hole before, which...
Puritan almost aced it again.
Doesn't even seem like there's a line there, but there's definitely a gap there.
It was a great shot. If you can make it down there or something that's going to have a little overstable finish at the end, there's definitely a line through all the mess. There's Ethan. He found his way back through all those trees, and that's going to be I don't even know if that's a makeable putt back there.
Yeah, that's a tough putt for 3.
Here with your up shot. Oh man, a huge skip. Nice save off that branch, but that's still going to be far putt.
I would have been way back there. I blew straight past the basket.
There's a lot of low-hanging branches on this hole, so it makes it pretty tough to navigate your way through into the basket. There's Marcus hitting one of those branches, dropping down. He'll probably make that putt. Here I am. I was trying to give this one a run, a little low, and then just rolled away into a really awkward position behind that bush. Ethan just trying to pitch out. And there it is. It was jail back there, so hopefully he'll make that one. Here's Marcus. Good putt. Save the 3. That's what you want to do. You just want to come out here just...
Especially on this hole, you're playing for par here.
For sure. Unless you're this man right here, taking a 2. You don't see many of those.
With the 2, you're going to take a stroke on almost the entire field here.
For sure, if not more. Here you are. Oh, and just bounced out. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, it was a little bit too low. A little bit higher, that would have stayed, but...
Here I am. Same thing, just uncomfortable position. Just couldn't give it a good enough run. Here's Ethan trying to make his putt. He does. So Ethan and Cole and I will all take bogeys on this hole, which is the usual score that you're going to see here. Even if you make it through that triple Mando, you're not guaranteed a par by any means.
Definitely.
There we go, just tapping out the 4s. Moving on to the next one, looking to get strokes elsewhere. And Chris, you can see that 2 is definitely a good score, as you see a lot of red up on that scoreboard. So, Chris is definitely taking strokes on pretty much everyone there.
Definitely.
Here we've got hole 13, 369 feet. It's a dead straight shot. You're going to follow the creek all the way down, over the bridge, up the hill. The basket's going to be perched up there just on the bottom side of the hill. This hole, you may think 369, easy 2, but this hole is really tough. You got to keep something really straight, really low, and it's a tough shot for sure.
It is a really tough shot. You can skip way into the trees if you touch any of these branches.
For sure. Chris pulling out that sidewinder again, just showing everyone how it's done right there. That's a good shot right there. He's going to be putting for 2 for sure. And the FollowFlight definitely deserved on this shot.
That's exactly what you're trying to do, but usually it's not even going to happen. That's a great shot.
Avoiding everything on this hole is definitely a good thing to do. You can get really bad really quick. Marcus going to be trying to do the same thing that Chris just did. Got the flip. Looks to be a little high. Yep. He's just nicking those branches. Fall in the water. And that water actually plays casual, so he's not OB there.
Here I am throwing a champion Colossus. Heiser flipped it. It might have flipped a little bit too much, but it ended up being in a great spot.
Yeah, it's not bad. Here's Ethan. Looks like he's turned his over a little bit too, but that's the mistake you want to make. You want to finish left over there. It's a little bit more open to the basket rather than finishing way off left. Here I am throwing a Metal Flake Thunderbird, just trying to pipe it right up the middle, just trying to get it close to Chris. And it seems to be going pretty straight, just faded out a little in, kicked a little short, but it's not a bad place to be. It'll be a pretty easy 3 from there.
That's a great position to be.
Here's Marcus looking to pitch up for his 3.
It's a great upshot right there.
Yeah, that'll be an easy 3 for him. That'll be a tap in for sure. Got Ethan. Oh, and it looked like he had kicked that last tree and kicked into the water there.
I've done that way too many times.
There's a lot of guardian trees right there.
And this one, I was throwing a rock 3, just trying to lay it up.
And put it in the basket.
Threw it a little bit on Anheuser so it would flex out, and it ended up being exactly where I wanted it.
Not the most conventional too, but
it works.
Definitely a good one. That was a great shot. Everyone was going crazy there. Running to pick it up. Here I am trying to do the same thing Cole did. Didn't get the same results, but it's okay. I'll get my 3. We've got Ethan. Trying to give this a little run. Kicks off the pole. He'll be fine from there. We've got Chris looking to get his 2. He's not going to let you be the only one to get a 2 on this hole.
Sadly.
That's pretty much, that's about how you draw it up right there. That's what you want to do. Marcus, good putt there. And everyone else is just going to be tapping in here. This is one of those holes you can get a lot of score separation on as well. You can see a lot of 2s, you can see a lot of 4s, you can see some high numbers if you hit one of those trees and kick off early.
It's really easy to put yourself in a bad position on this hole.
Especially if you get down that casual water. I mean, you save strokes because it's casual water, but you definitely don't want to be down there throwing from the hillside and the slippery slopes up to the basket. Good 2s from Chris and Cole there. Moving on to hole 15. This is 512 feet. It's a really long hole that's going to finish way down to the right. You're pretty much wanting to get through this opening and then have a shot that's going to get you up to the basket, hopefully for your 3.
Most everyone's just going to be playing up to that opening first. If you get through, I mean, that's just extra yardage, though.
For sure. Yeah, and you have water OB on the right all over there, so you're trying to just stay out of that. Got Chris looking like he's going to throw a little turnover. Oh, and just kick that tree.
Didn't quite turn over just enough.
Maybe he'll have a look from over there.
Here I'm throwing a champion boss. I threw it a little bit too high, kicked a branch, but it ended up landing exactly where it needed to be.
Oh, yeah, that second kick helped you out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in that opening, that'll give you a good look up to the basket. Marcus. And that's pretty much what you're looking to do right there. You're just trying to get something to turn over, finish through that gap, and just get you onto the opening so you can have a look at the basket. I'm throwing a forehand here, just trying to squeak it through. Just a little bit early again, just barely kicked the tree.
Almost exactly what it needed to do right there. Barely kicked that tree at the end.
Be in the opening, I'll have a decent look for it. Ethan, trying to do the same thing Marcus did. And that'll work. I mean, it's low, but he's out in the open. He's through all the trees. That's what you're trying to do.
I believe I was throwing a Star Rock 3 here. I liked to forehand that disc because I didn't have to throw it very hard for it to do exactly what I wanted. Left it a little bit low and the grass caught it there at the end, but it's not too bad.
There's Chris. Looks like he just turned this one over just a little bit. He's going to have some work going up to the basket on his next shot. Here I am, just throwing a T-bird 3. Just trying to get it low and just slide up there. A little bit low on the release, so just going to be pitching up and trying to take a 4 on this hole. Ethan. Held on to it a little bit too long. Hit the tree. He won't have a bad look from there. He'll be able to get his 4. Marcus. That's looking about what you want. Oh, just barely hit the last tree, but he'll have a look at it. It's really hard with all these trees at the very end, just protecting the basket. You gotta get something low
that, and if you go past the basket, there's also water. There's a little creek running behind, and it can be a little scary throwing a fast disc back there.
Definitely. You're definitely wanting to throw something that's not going to get too much ground play. You want it to hit and just sit. And that's a smart play right there, just throwing up under the basket. Right behind where Jonathan is, it drops off and there's water back there. It's Ethan, a little jump putt. It's the tree. He'll be able to tap in that from there. It's Marcus, long look. Oh, he cans it.
That's a great putt from Marcus right there.
Gets the SloMez. Much deserved.
Definitely deserved right there. That's what would you say, 60 feet out?
Easily. Here's Chris going through the trees. Oh, it's like he just barely missed.
Almost just got the SloMez like Marcus there.
Here I am just trying to get my 4. I did so. Looking out with the par, I'm not too upset with that. Looks like everyone else is just going to be tapping out their putts here. Yeah, this hole is definitely one of the ones. It's a par 4. It's not extremely hard. As long as you make it through the first gap, there shouldn't be a reason where you don't get a 3, but it's not always an easy hole, as you can see.
I've taken well over 4 before on this hole.
Yeah, it can bite you for sure. As you're going to see by the scorecard up here, I think we had 3 4s on the hole. Mm-hmm. Maybe 4. Yeah, 3 4s, a 5, and a 3. Wow, I didn't realize Chris took a 5. Good 3 by Marcus, for sure.
And a great putt there to save it.
Yeah. So here we've got hole 16, 433 feet. It's an uphill shot, so it plays quite a bit longer than 433 feet. I'd say probably 460, 470.
At least.
It's a crush uphill. It's not a shot where you're going to see players putting it very close very often.
Yeah, definitely not often. It doesn't look like it's very much uphill, but you can definitely feel it whenever you throw.
Yeah, it's a deceiving hole. So here's Marcus, and it looks like it's going way up there, and then you just see that uphill coming into play, and he's right in line with that tree.
Usually a pretty common place to end up. Here I'm throwing a yellow Champion Boss. Threw it a little bit high, but
it'll work its way down there.
Yeah, that's one of those discs I have beat in so much it's just in the right place.
Here I am throwing a start ashore, just trying to rip on this one, just pulled a little bit too much, and it just flipped up and turned on me. So got the distance, but just finished too far right, and I was over behind that tree. And we've got Ethan, probably throwing some distance driver of sorts. It's got a nice turn on it, and that one looks like it's coming back. That's going to be a good shot.
That's a great place to end up right there.
Yeah, that's 50, 60 short. That's a good shot. There's Chris. Oh, it looks like he turned this one over just a little bit too much, and that one's not going to be coming back.
I think we had a slight headwind, so that might have been partial reason as to why it held so long.
Mm-hmm. There's Marcus looking to just put this up under the basket. Leaves it a little high. I'm sure he can make it from there.
Based off of that last one, I'm sure that's a putt he's got all day.
Here you are, just trying to put it close. That'll work. Got Chris with his upshot. Little long, but he'll be able to make that. Ethan looking to maybe give this one a run, put it in.
Let's see.
Just a little bit short. This is a good try. Here I am under all the branches, just couldn't give it enough spin, just left it a little short, a little low.
Can't be disappointed about that, though.
Not at all. Oh, and Marcus just a little high. That's uncharacteristic of him. There's Chris looking to capitalize on this putt. Oh man, very uncharacteristic of both of these guys. Very solid putters. That's what these guys are known for, and not showing there. Cole showing everyone how it's done with that putt. Let them know that it can go in the basket.
Basket does work on this hole.
Here I am, taking my time on the little 2-footer, not taking anything for granted. Giving a little wave to the crowd. Tough putt. Everyone else just going to be tapping it. All right, we've got 2 4s and the rest 3s. Pretty hard hole to get a 2 on. Not really going to see it often. All right, and here we've got hole 18, par 4, 551 feet. This one plays a little bit downhill. It's dead straight, and then you're going to want to have to finish to the right through the little opening in these trees, and the basket's tucked back in there under This big tree.
It's a very long hole, and you can feel it whenever you throw. I guess whenever you throw into that open field, it seems like you're not throwing far at all, but it is down there.
For sure. This is a nice hole to finish on because you can just get up there and just rip on one, just finish your round.
Here I'm throwing a champion boss. This one I can get it to flip and do all sorts of crazy things that boss just shouldn't be able to do, but got it pretty much down into that little gap where you want to be.
That's a good ways down here. Throwing a Star Destroyer here. Just trying to get maximum distance, just get as far down there as possible. And this one was just a good pull. As soon as it came out of my hand, I knew it was going to be down there. And that puts me right at the opening to have a putt at the basket. So I was definitely happy with that.
That's an insane throw right there.
Here's Ethan.
Looks like he got a little early release there, but...
Yeah, hit the tree. He kicked into the middle, so he'll be able to get it up under the basket,
that's a
hopefully.
good place to be.
There's Marcus. So he got a little bounce there, and it's just going to carry, and that's a good shot, too. Little turn.
Same place as you, just a little bit shorter, but that's a great place to be because you're right in line with that gap, and you got a great line at the basket.
Definitely. This hole, you just want to be as far down there as possible, just close to that opening. Chris looks like another early release, but looks like he's fighting through a little bit.
Got some extra distance out of that one.
Yeah, and he's not going to be upset with that. He'll have a look at putting it up under the basket. Here's Ethan. And that's a solid forehand right there. Just kind of fight through the trees, and wow, that's not an easy shot to make right there.
That's what you tried to do, but it ends up not working out most of the time, and then he just figured out how to put it right there.
Here's Chris, just trying to slide up. He's going to be 30, 40 short.
Edge.
Marcus just trying to pitch up.
Great upshot from Marcus.
Yeah, I kicked the last tree, but he should be fine from there.
Here I am. I had almost no line from where I was at, so I was kind of just trying to get it up in there somewhere. Kicked off a tree and got kind of a bad position, but...
Yeah, here I am trying to give it a run. Just a little bit too much on it. Didn't quite have it. Man. Yeah,
an awkward putt right there.
This hole can get you sometimes. If you end up in a bad spot too far right off the first shot, it can just...
Yeah, there's a lot of places with bad footing or just weird angles that you got to try to fight through. And Chris comes up and just smashes a putt right here.
That's a great putt to finish it off, putting the pressure on Marcus, and I believe that putt ties him with Marcus for the entire event.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
As long as Marcus can make this, and he does.
So I believe they're tied at this point, right?
I believe so. Those are good putts there.
Yes, they are.
Definitely pressure putts. That just shows you that they can fight through it and they can make the putts whenever it counts. Ethan tapping in his three. Solid forehand there. That was a good recovery off that first shot.
Somehow bounce it off of the basket right there. Last hole was kind of feeling some pressure for some reason, but...
Just unlucky.
Just tap it in right here and be over with.
Alright, so it's going to look like Marcus and Chris tied for first with them both taking threes. Cole with a 4. And then Ethan and myself with 3s as well. So that's going to conclude this Jomez Final 9. Huge thanks to Innova and the Lubbock Windrider group and Jomez for coming out.